Why were you smoking marijuana with your father?
Oh my God. He would rather me smoke it and get it from him than get it from someone off the street.
So your father was your marijuana dealer?
Yeah.
Your dad is also here, because I kept hearing him saying, find my daughter. I need to apologize to my daughter. I need to apologize to my daughter. This is a really hard reading to do because I know that you're still mad at your father. And I know that you're still upset with him because he tells me that there were arguments that the two of you had before he died. It's all right. Listen, you're here for a reason. And can I tell you everything?
Yes, please.
Because when I'm connecting with your father, he says to me, Matt, I wish that I would have made my daughter more a part of my life when I was here. He tells me that when he was alive, he acted like he was a teenager. He acted like he was a little kid. He shows me that he lived his own life.
Yes.
He shows me that he was constantly partying all the time. And he shows me when I'm connecting with him that he loved women when he was here.
Yes.
I'm
sorry to say it, but he was a man whore.
He tells me it was actually really embarrassing for you because your dad tells me that there were times when you would see social media pictures of him out and partying, and you'd be like, what is my father doing? And people would show you pictures of your dad out and doing these crazy things.
Yes.
Your dad says to me this, he says, Matt, he says, the one thing that I have to tell my daughter is that I didn't know how to be a dad. He says, and I want her to know that I admit that now, because what was really tough is that you used to see your dad out partying and drinking and doing all of these things. But he tells me that he left your life when you really needed him the most, that you felt like he was available. Yes. You felt like he was available to everybody else but you. And your dad says to me, Nat, I should have taken a step back and looked at the things that really matter. The day that your dad died, he did not want to end his life here in this world. He says to me when I'm connecting with him, he was heavy under the influence of many drugs.
He was.
He just said to me, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. He says, and Matt, I really need to let my daughter know that I am so sorry that she's living in this pain every day because it was put there by me. Your father shows me that when he was here, that he truly did love you. But he also tells me this. He says, Matt,
he was my best friend.
He says, Matt, he says, I need her to know that the one thing is that I should have taken a more of a father role within her life. Because your dad, I gotta be honest with you, he shows me he was a mess here in this world. He tells me that he did not pay bills when he was here. He keeps showing me like credit card bills, not being paid. He shows me there was a time when his car was almost repossessed. And he shows me that even though he didn't pay his bills, he would be out and partying. There was he had a ton of money.
Yes.
He says to me, Matt, he goes, I didn't know responsibility. And the one thing that he tells me is this. Oh boy. Is it all right to tell you everything?
Yes, please.
Are you sure about that? Why were you smoking marijuana with your father? Why were you smoking marijuana with your father?
Oh my God.
Your father shows me you smoking the silly smoke with him, and I need to know why.
I did. He said that he told me that he would rather me smoke it and get it from him than get it from someone off the street and die.
So your father was your marijuana dealer?
Yeah.
You said I could tell you everything.
This is so crazy.
Your father says to me, Matt, he goes, that was the type of father that I was. He says, I was so focused on being the cool dad when I really should have been there. He says, and stopped you from doing everything. Because your dad tells me that there was a point in your life where you almost went down the same path that he did.
Yes.
And you know that that's why your dad is coming through right now. He says to me, Matt, tell her that I don't want her life ending up like my life. He says, if there's one thing that I can teach her, because I didn't teach her anything as her dad. She learned everything through life herself. He says, but if there's one thing that I can teach her in the afterlife, it's don't do what I did. He says, take responsibility. He says, and live your life as an adult. He says, and at some point you got to grow up. He says, because I didn't learn about it and it was too late. He goes, and now I have to watch my daughter and my family, my friends in pain every day. What your dad tells me is that he had every opportunity to do the right thing here in this world. He says, and now that I'm in spirit, he tells me that he's been a protective soul that's with you every day because he's so afraid of you going down the wrong path like he did. He says, and the reason why he's telling you that is because when he was here, he did not set the example that he should have. He says, and Matt, I'm sorry. He says, but please let her know that in spirit, I am always there and with her, and I'm supporting her now. But
I've been waiting so long for this.
He says to me that you've also been talking about the tattoo. So did you get the tattoo in memory of him?
Yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
did.
He said to me, Matt, he goes, I can't believe she got this tattoo. He goes, and can you tell her, why did she get it so big? He said to me, he goes, I knew she was going to get a tattoo. He says, but I never expected, he says, to take up so much real estate, he tells me. And your dad thinks that's so crazy. Wait a minute. He tells me the two of you were supposed to get a tattoo together. Like you talked about getting a tattoo together.
Yes, we did.
He says, and Matt, he goes, you know that the day she got that tattoo, I was there. He says, because I need my daughter to know that as much as you feel so alone right now, your dad can see everything that you're going through within your life. And your father says to me, all I want is for you to be happy. He says, all I want is for you to be happy, to be safe. He says, and I'm sorry for ever leaving you. He says, but don't suffer because of it. He goes, I don't want you to suffer because of the choices that I made. He says, what I want you to know is that my love for you is so strong and I will always, always, always be with you, he tells me. This is interesting. Your dad actually tells me that one of the ways that you're going to know that he's with you is through music. He tells me that he sends you songs all the time.
There was an alarm clock. It was by Imagine Dragons. It was I don't remember, but I remember because when he would play it, it was so annoying. And I would tell him, Dad, you gotta wake up. This alarm clock is not it. Like this song is not it. And then I just heard it on the radio the other day, and I was like,
oh,
and
that's it. So he had it. Listen, you gotta know that when souls tell me, right? Your dad.
I think it's radioactive.
He showed me like his phone like this. So he had the what's it called? He had the alarm clock on his phone to that song.
Yes.
That's crazy. So know that when just the other day you heard that was your dad's way of coming through. That was his sign to you. Because you keep saying, where are the signs from my dad? Where are the signs from my dad? So when that just came on the radio the other day, and here you are with me talking to you about it, your dad tells me he sent you that sign from heaven. That's how they come. And I'm so happy that he was able to validate that, because I can't tell you how many times I do readings and I'll tell you, oh, your loved one sent you this sign. They're like, oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. Just like when I was telling you he was sending you music and you're like, I don't know. He showed me the phone. So when you used to wake up to that song every day and you're like, oh my God, this is so annoying. And just the other day you heard that play on the radio out of nowhere. That was your dad. Your dad says to me this. He says, Matt, please tell my daughter that if she wants to know where I am, I'm always just over her shoulder. Tell her that every day that I see her living life and happy, that's what makes me proud. She doesn't need to wear a tattoo. He says she doesn't have to go looking for signs. He says, because I'll be able to see everything. And I really need her to know that and to trust that.
It's crazy because I knew he is a tattoo guy. He loves tattoos, but I had a feeling that if he were here today and I got this tattoo, he would be like, that's so stupid. Like his famous words were, you're stupid.
Well, know that it's his way of letting you know that he truly is with you. He does love you. And it's his way of acknowledging that he is always and forever by your side.
Thank
right? I'm going to leave you with that.